So God gave you a good meal, a safe place to stay, and a warm bed. Where'd you go from there?
Well, everywhere, but I didn't follow God yet. I was still wanting to go Richie's way, and Richie's way is not the right way. Back then, it wasn't. It was the wrong way. Um, so I did the carnival life, of course, and that's not much you can say. It was something to do,
Okay.
you know. Slept on a pool. I ran a pool table joint. I guess I will talk about it a little bit. I ran a pool joint where you run the balls in, you win a prize. But like I did it for a couple seasons, and then I was moving. I was actually one of the reasons I was going to Florida and riding the freight trains was to get the winter quarters. So I guess that is part of my story. But by now we're talking, say I'm 18, 19, maybe 20, not quite 20, because I wasn't old enough to drink yet. And I was already so far gone that I was drinking Lysol.
What?
Lysol, the stuff you clean the counter down. I'm looking around. I don't see none around here. You can tell I don't clean much. Anyway, the Lysol, this the stuff in a can that you spray. We called it pop. You take a nail and pop the top of it, let the air out, and mix it with whatever to kill the flavor. Listerine, Lysol, Sterno. At that young age, I was drinking that stuff to get alcohol. So
Wow.
yeah, it was. I still liked it, but I knew I was too far gone to change. I knew there was hardly no coming back from that. I mean, I didn't say I would, but I never think I'd live over 35. I figured I'd die before I was 35. That was my shoot for age. And I remember one night I'm wherever I was laying. I'm just laying in the woods, and well, that's another story. Okay, well, I was laying in the woods, and it was like a dream that was so real. There was this guy that was so familiar to me, like an Uncle Whip, really nice guy.
Okay.
And he's trying. This is kind of, I got to remember how it really worked. But he was like just somebody I knew, very familiar, familiar, whatever. It felt good to be around him, and it was just a nice thing. And we're just talking and going along, and he says, I believe it was him saying, he says, do you want? He goes over, like he points to that, and here's this side is a bar, drinking, partying, women, pool tables, the whole works. Over here, he says, do you want that, or do you want to go through the door? Well, I was scared of I didn't know what the door was, and I was scared of the door. So I said, no, I don't want to go through the door. I was scared of the door. Well, I said, no, I want the door. I want the door. I mean, I don't want the door. I want this. And all of a sudden, everything just vanished. And then I'm laying there like, wow, that was a wild dream. But what I think later, it was God giving me a choice. Do I want to, this is what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want that? Realistically, I didn't want that, but I was scared of the door more than anything because I didn't know it was on the other side. Maybe I would have died and went to heaven. That would have been great too. I mean,
Right.
but it was just, it was that. And then my life was every day just trying to make a beer, trying to make some booze. I didn't mess with drugs that much. Drugs were there, but I didn't worry about them. It was alcohol.
Wow.
It was, like I said, walking around. Okay, so we get to the part, how bad it got. Okay, I'm in New Orleans one time, and I was working at a place called Rebel Crane. It was like a temp service where they paid you at the end of the week, but
Sure.
gave you $15 a day to live on.
Okay.
Well, I'm over in the French Quarter drinking and partying. It's like 2 or 3 in the morning. And I see this old wino over there picking up a half beer, half drink, drinking it. And I said, I'll never get like that. Well, guess what? A couple of weeks later, there's Richie drinking them drinks. That's how bad you can get real quick. We're talking 18, 19, 20, 21. Not 21 yet. Not even 21 yet. Not even old enough to drink. That's how bad it was.
Wow. So
Yeah.
there's that downward spiral you're talking about, which is what we're going to incorporate into your whole story, God's story through your life, is we're going to have pictures showing, frankly, they're mugshots, because it's not like anybody was around taking pictures of you
Yeah.
living on the streets and then, saving them for the family photo album. So those pictures that we will make a collage of are from your mugshots, I think a little later on, right?
Yeah.
Because that's when you were in Tampa area.
Yeah.
And to show what what God's brought you through to where you are today. And with this whole storytelling thing and showing our shop and your business and all, it's to share hope with the world.
Yeah.
This world is desperately in need of hope, and that's what we're here for. It's all about the hope, and the hope is only in Jesus Christ. There's no other hope. There are no 12 steps. There aren't any prayers to the universe or prayers to someone. It's only to Jesus, and we'll talk about that a little later on. But we're going to stop here and pick it back up in a moment.
Sounds good.